everyone, so I'm back in the studio today and I really wanted to keep our country art series going. But I hit a bit of a wall. I read all the comments on the last video and realized nobody actually told me which country to pick next. No worries though, I decided to just pull up Google Maps and go hunting for inspiration myself. I started zooming into the North Atlantic and I got stuck looking at these two neighbors, Iceland and Greenland. Now, I've heard these names 1,000 times, but looking at the satellite view while I was starting my sketches, it hit me how weird it is. Iceland is full of these lush, bright green valleys and volcanic moss. But Greenland? It's just this massive, blindingly white shield of ice. It's like the world's biggest naming swap. So while I work on this new piece, I want to figure out how did we get this so backwards? The marketing genius of Eric the Red. To find the answer, we have to go back over 1,000 years to a guy named Eric the Red. Now, Eric was a Viking, and let's just say he had a bit of a temper. He actually got kicked out of Iceland for, well, killing a few people. Since he couldn't stay home, he sailed west to find somewhere new to live. When he landed in Greenland, he found these tiny strips of green grass along the coast, but he knew that wasn't enough to convince anyone else to move there. He needed neighbors. So, Eric pulled off what I like to call the world's first real estate scam. He went back home and started telling everyone about this incredible fertile paradise he found. He literally named it Greenland, just to make it sound better than it was. He was a marketing genius. He knew that if he called it giant block of death ice, nobody was going to pack up their ships and follow him. And it worked. People actually left the relatively green Iceland to go to the frozen Greenland because of a name. Why Iceland stayed ice. But then you have Iceland. It's the opposite story. Legend says a Viking named Floki went there, had a really miserable winter, where all his livestock died, and he saw some ice floating in a fjord. He was so frustrated that he just named the whole island Iceland out of spite. The irony is that Iceland is actually warmed by the Gulf Stream, so it stays pretty mild and green all year. Meanwhile, Greenland is shielded from that warmth, which is why it stays frozen. One guy named his home to make it sound better than it was, and the other guy named his home because he was having a really bad day. As I'm blending these colors in the art right now, I'm trying to show that contrast, that expectation versus reality feel. The mystery of the lost Vikings. The craziest part of the history, though, is that the Vikings actually survived in Greenland for about 400 years. They built farms and even cathedrals. But then, they just vanished. Poof. By the 1400s, they were gone. Some people think the climate got too cold, others think they just got tired of the scam and went home. While they were leaving, the Inuit people were thriving there. They actually knew how to live with the ice, instead of trying to turn it into a European farm. It just goes to show that you can't force a land to be something it's not, no matter what you name it. Wrap up. It's amazing how a 1,000-year-old lie still confuses us every time we look at a map. Anyway, here is the final piece. I hope you like how it turned out. And seriously, since I had to pick the country myself this time, I'm putting the pressure on you guys for the next video. Scroll down right now and comment which country I should design next.